All right, so now that you have already read the problem once, I'm going to read it one more time just for you to stamp important information. This time, pay close attention to what the problem is asking us to find. You have been hired by your neighbors to babysit their children on Friday night. You are paid $8 per hour. Complete the table relating your pay to the number of hours you worked. Based on the table above, is the pay proportional to the hours worked, and how do you know? Okay, so now that we've already shared and read the mental movie with our class, we're going to think about how we can start solving the problem. Well, since we've been given another table, we're going to use that as our draw portion of our redraw right. So I'm going to continue using this table to organize the information from our problem. Okay, so what are the two things that we are comparing in this problem? Well, they're talking about hours worked and they're talking about pay. Okay, so I'm going to keep that in mind. And specifically, what is the problem asking us to find? Well, it wants us to see if the pay is proportional to the hours worked. So I circled that word proportional because I know it hints at something really specific about this table. Well, what does it mean to be proportional? Well, I know that it means that the pay has to depend on the hours worked. Remember, we talked about independent and dependent variables, like a review from last year. So that means that if the hours are increasing, right, if the hours are going up, well, I know that's actually going down in the table, but if you look at the values in the table, they're going up from 1 to 6.5, then I would hope that the amount of money I get paid also increases, okay? So we're going to keep that in mind as we begin to fill out the table. And I just want to make sure that we make it clear that if the pay is depending on the hours, the pay is our Y value and the hours is our X. So I'm going to label our table Y and X. And I really want you to pay attention and focus on labeling tables like this as well, because hint, hint, you may see later on horizontal tables, okay? And we usually see the X and the Y set up like this. But if we're ever confused, we want to look at the question and say, okay, which one is depending on the other? Y always depends on X. So Y would be proportional, and I misspelled that, please excuse me, proportional to X. Okay, so these are just some hints that I want you to write down, and we're going to move forward with our table. Okay, so now that we're going to fill out our table, I know that it told me that if I babysit, I get paid $8 per hour. Well, how many hours is that? It doesn't say a specific number, but I know that that means every hour I'm going to add another $8. So in other words, $8 per 1 hour. Okay, so I see 1 hour in our table, so I know I get paid $8. All right, well, how much would I get paid for 2 hours? Well, if I work another hour, then I would get another $8 and I would get $16.